I can remember one time going by there and a lot of older kids, high school kids standing out, and I was trying to get Ann to hurry along to school before we'd be late, and I stumbled and fell, and of course all the big kids were laughing and talking, and I thought they was laughing at me. Anyhow, went we moved from there then down to across the street where the Hills used to live, and lived there quite some time. Finally, my dad bought that house from my uncle, that the old home place next to James, and Dake and Jane were born there. All this time, my dad worked at the refinery. Times were rough. When things were going good, the refinery kept going, but when hard times came during the Depression, he would have layoffs, and we'd be maybe 3 months without work. But my dad always did stuff like building sidewalks with stone, laying stone foundations, hauling wood. He always had a big garden, and my mom, she had all kinds of interesting things she could do with food to see that we had food on the table. One thing she did was took hominy grits some way and put them with salmon, and we'd put them in a loaf pan, and then she'd slice that and roll it in flour and fry it. It was like having fish. And she would do this quite often during the Depression. During the Depression, she would buy root beer extract from the Grand Union or Jewel Tea Man, and she'd put it down the cellar in big crock jug things and have us root beer. And always, my mom, on 4th of July, Christmas, I can't remember too much. We'd have some little something. Never any big Christmas dinners that I can remember, but always on the 4th of July, it was a big thing for her. She always planned fried chicken and fresh green beans and homemade ice cream, and we always had a case of pop. And that was the big thing in our lives that we looked forward to. One time she'd get 24 bottles of pop, and everybody got divvied out their share. There was 7 of us into that 24, and she would see that everybody got their share of that pop. Well, one time, Ann and I kept our pop back because we always were real conservative and didn't just eat our candy or drink our pop all up, and relatives come in, and we had to share our pop with them. I can remember in high school that I was always a good student. Some of the time I was, most of the time in high school I was on the honor roll, but books were hard to come by, and I can remember that the way we got our books, you traded them with your neighbors. And you spoke from way ahead of time. Right after the first of one year, if you thought the next year you'd have to be taking something like that, you told them to hold your books, and you traded books. And, but I always liked school, and I liked one of my favorite things is library. But I did that as an activity because I wasn't allowed to go into play basketball or go in for I can't even remember what it's called. Anyhow, any other activities, but also I can remember that I babysat